Hello and welcome everybody to the final episode of Psychonauts 2. In the last episode, we went through a lot. Maligula was reawoken by the Zarevich Gristle Malik, whose brain was actually inside Truman Zanato, which is why he was acting so weird. Or at least weird to everyone else. We didn't really get to know him that much, so we don't know how weird he actually was. And so yeah, now we're in Grandma Nona's mind, getting ready to stop Maligula, who we're presuming is the set of eyes over there, not the statue that we just shot at.
That's right, and there's more where that came from.
I'm kind of glad I didn't make that joke. Take that, statue. I really showed that statue who's boss. Let's see. I'm trying to see what we need. We might need to be prepared here for the fight coming up ahead, because unlike other mines, this is not a mine that has any collectibles. You can see on here, that's weird. Okay, so yeah. Can we get that? There we go. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, we don't have any mines here that are new to outside of Fatherland Follies, which I think we've checked through multiple times, like with all the others. Yeah, we don't have inside Maligula's mine, or any more added to Lucretia's Lament. So yeah, this is basically just an in-game.
Well, this is cheery.
I mean, when you compare it to everything else, yeah, this is clearly not that cheery either. You know, seeing a shrine to her sister, the names of some, I'm assuming some Grulovians who died, as if Dredrick, I'm butchering these names, Jeremy, wait, hold on, Derek, but with a Z, Jeremy with a Z, Alex, Jizabe, yeah, Gabe with a Z, Jared, yeah, Jared with a Z. I mean, half these names are just like just put a Z in between the first and second. I don't know if that's supposed to be a reference to something, or that's just, you know, just being quirky. I don't know, as of Aif. That would sound foreign enough. Let's see. Zannies. There's Gizabe again. Or Gizabe.
My grandparents were part of the protests in Grulovia after the war. It didn't end well.
Yeah. I was about to say, we don't really need the...
I was hoping not to see again.
Ooh. I was about to say, we don't really need the recap on this stuff. We already know this information, but in all fairness, at this point in the game, it has been a while since we've seen the actual, like, situation. But, like, at the same time...
Morona, my real grandma Morona, and my dad's father Lazarus. Nice to see them alive, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, not so much alive if you look over the bed. I just can't help but think, like, you put a cigarette in that one skeleton's hand, their last moments weren't that bad. I just keep thinking back to that one Futurama episode with the Amazon, where they meet the Amazonian, the planet of the Amazonians.
Oh, I'm gonna pay for that later.
in the anyway, so going back to what I was saying with the skeleton, it reminded. Oh, and I hit the wrong button. It's what happens when I spend the 2 weeks not playing the game. Okay, but anyway, the skeletons reminded me of like the position. The position reminded me of the skeletons from that you see in that episode of Futurama where they play or they talk about Snoo, and like then the guys who are getting ready to be Snooed ask what happened. What happened to the other men that got Snooed? They died from crushed pelvises. They go over to a bunch of skeletons with their crotches crushed. One of them has a cigarette in their hand, and they all have smiles on their faces. So, I love Futurama so much.
I'm your great.
Now enough to think that they should be making a third comeback. Or fourth, I don't know which one at this point.
Just that you're my grandma's sister. And I'm here to talk you out of being evil because, you know, you're still family and all.
Family? All I see is another unruly Grulovian peasant.
Half Grulovian.
Another piece of trash I need to wash from the streets.
Oh boy.
That can't be good. You got water serpents. And they stop. Oh, they're under control. Oh, I have a feeling someone's come to help us.
Why are you hitting yourself, huh? Stop hitting yourself.
Ha! Good one, Sam.
Two of you are no more threat than one. In my time, vanquish entire armies.
Yeah, but not a giant whale.
Ding dong! Whaleogram! I'd like you to meet Mental Esmeralda. Uh-oh.
Careful, children.
Meligula notes the deluge of Grulovia.
Oh, I fear a storm is coming.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I am the deluge of Grulovia.
You know, to be fair, how many games actually have us had the final boss is our grandmother?
No.
Let the streets be cleansed forever.
I'm not afraid of you. You're just an overgrown lust for violence and destruction. Okay, that sounded scarier than I wanted it to. But you're actually a normal part of any human mind.
Okay, so if memory serves, there's a trick. This is like the only time I ever actually died in the game in my first playthrough. And it mainly came down to these snakes attacking me. So it's like
This upon yourself.
which I can charge, right?
Feed my child.
That. I mean, I can, but it's not really worth it. Wait, should I shoot him when I get too close there?
What dares block my flow?
I don't know, lady. Have you tried eating prunes?
The problem is she's all twisted up in knots. I got something that'll help you. Unwind.
Uh-oh. No, that was Adam Yo-Yo.
Ooh, that looked painful.
It's okay. I have another one.
So it's kind of cool that we get to see like the interns actually help us out. It is a little. I do wish we had spent a bit more time with them. I'm getting a Discord notification. Ah, that hurt. I am not paying attention here. Looks like she's got a lot of regrets. Let's see what that. Oh, actually, did that hurt her? I have no clue that actually hurt. Ow.
Twisted up. Yeah, you heard me.
go. Ah! Yeah, I might want to use a side pop here. Oh, that... Hey, there we go.
Back to your quilts, weakling.
Hey, that little old lady's inside her.
Now that you've seen that,
That's a...
friend, I can't let you leave.
Wait, what does that even mean?
It means run!
Lizzie, you can freeze water. Can't you, like, freeze her? I guess that thing is different, like, in a mental realm, right? And also, like, you know...
You're a natural part of the fight-or-flight complex, but you're supposed to be smaller. Stay
Ouch.
down in the primitive grade until needed.
Ouch.
Thank you for the mental energy, Psychop.
Oh, well, I dodged out the first one, but not the second. Ah! That hurts. I'm not paying attention to where I'm landing. I'm more focused on trying to hit her. Which is probably why I died the first time going through. Again, the only time I ever died in the game, to the point where I didn't even need a dream fluff. Or not, yeah, dream fluff.
There's the mental energy I need. Thanks, Psychop.
See? No, she's not taking damage anymore. Ah! Burn her? Nope. Can't do any damage to her. Looks like she's... Ooh! Okay, who's gonna help us now?
Stay away from the water, Pookie! You heard the Lady Rasputin.
Oh.
Let's get you away from
Oh,
her.
let's get you at least. We started to... Started to deal with Norman.
Sorry, I thought you were the mole, Raz. Let me make it up to you. Ooh, she looks steamed.
Look, maybe that looks cool. That still doesn't make up for the fact that she's a... Oh, wait, we need this. Ah! Ouch. First time we've had to use Dream Fluff in this whole game, I think. This boss fight is not exactly the easiest thing to do. Especially when you're commentating while you're at it.
I killed my brother. Enough!
Isu, Norma, are you...
They've either been...
Nona, you can hear me. This thing is not your fault. Ford's experiments opened the door and let it out at the lower brain. The sun
Ah.
in his war made it grow.
This was long enough.
She's trying to keep an eye on between, ouch, her health and the things attacking me.
Never
Oh, there we go, Morris.
Pirate radio.
Power Pirate Radio. What are you gonna do? Play music? I mean, actually, that might actually help.
Some terrible mistake she had made. So we put the word out on KLOB, and guess what? People were listening.
Okay.
At least one of them. And they told the others.
Thanks, Morris.
So I think...
You owe me an exclusive on-air interview for this, okay?
You got it, buddy.
Oh, they just do, okay. And he's gone. Oh, gone out of the mind. I mean, he's not actually dead, obviously. But yeah, we finished up We finish off Maligula. I think.
Maron
We think?
wasn't supposed to be there. Lazarus shouldn't have brought her. He killed my sister.
No, that's not quite right.
No, that's not quite right.
Hmm.
Hody, listen.
I killed my sister.
I might not be your real grandmother.
I killed my sister.
But you're still my family.
But Soma, I kill lots of people.
Oh, jeez.
The only thing I can offer now is everything I've got.
And it wouldn't be a Psychonauts game without a giant, a literal giant kaiju-esque battle of the minds.
I wish I had made you bigger.
It's okay, Nona. Look behind her.
My Crowley dug his little hole after all.
Yep. And we're gonna fill it.
Yeah. Okay, so A or X to attack, A for fire breath, which would be square and X respectively, or hold on. Yeah, A, yeah, there you go. I make sure I have the buttons right. This is basically all that's left to it. Is we're just kaiju fighting our way. It's not as hard as the one in Psychonauts, in the first Psychonauts, but it's more symbolic, and there's something about this that's actually kind of fun and a little bit cathartic, punching the personification of the fight or flight senses of your grandmother into a falling pit of into a swirling void of darkness, the deepest part of her mind. Like, I don't fully understand it. I'm just saying it's oddly cathartic. Probably has something to do with the fact that the boss fight is actually kind of somewhat difficult compared to the other boss fights, and so like when you get to this point, like, oh, it's kind of fun being able to just wail on her mindlessly and not really give too much thought.
You can't get rid of me. I'm a part of her.
Big deal. Everybody's got something like you. We just know how to keep it where it belongs.
Most people do. In fact, seeing someone of Nona's age being able to actually control her inner fight or flight senses is actually quite amazing. Because I don't know a single old person that knows how to do that themselves. Or at least no one in politics, anyway. There, I made my requisite political joke.
Nona!
Hey, we're finally in water, not getting assaulted by it. It seems like we got rid of that curse. Oh. Oh, it's helping us now. It's gonna get weird. Hey, we found the... See, she tried to open it. Oh, she did open it. So where?
Do you have a funnel?
I was about to say that. I was about to say no, but then I remembered we have a backpack, and as per the law of video game heroes, a backpack has everything in it that we would ever need. At least retro games, anyway. And I guess Milo Murphy's Law. But I guess that's not really games, that's more cartoon. A really good cartoon that deserved more than the 2 seasons, but there are some great 2 seasons. If you have Disney Plus, go check it out.
Caligula gets to live out in Green Needle Gulch with Ford as if she didn't just try to kill people.
Hey, Pot.
It was different when I did.
Hey, Pot. Name's Kettle. Nice to meet you.
And now, I think she deserves a second chance.
And I think I deserve a vacation. My brain's been through a lot.
Oh, no you don't. I've kept this place afloat during your little nap, and now I'm taking 2 of the 17 weeks of vacation I've saved up to lie on a beach where none of you can find me.
17
Right
weeks?
after we take care of some important Psychonauts business.
First off, I just want to go ahead and mention
Are you coming or not?
vacation days in most jobs expire.
Now that's leadership.
You're thinking of sick and leave. Those do accumulate.
Despite my best efforts, you interns have seen some really inappropriate things. But I think you've also learned a truth that every Psychonaut should know. That there are flaws in our most venerated institutions, in our heroes, and in ourselves. We all make mistakes, and we all need help sometimes. But we all deserve a second chance. You've seen us
Weird
at our
glare
best,
from Sam.
and we've seen you at your best. And I'm proud to say, you have all graduated from the intern program.
That's what I'm talking about.
You are all now officially junior agents of the Psychonauts.
Junior?
I'll take it.
See, Raz has learned his lesson. So the next game that's going to take you another 12 years to make, when you can finally get Psychonauts 3, will finally become an actual Psychonaut. So yeah, oh my, this is such a great game. Oh my god, it was worth. It's always fun to make the joke that this game took 12 years to produce. The reality is, it actually only took like 5 or 6 years. They didn't really start working on the game until fairly recently. It took 12 years between Psychonauts 1 and Psychonauts 2 because they had other projects. And, you know, Double Fine being the company that it is kind of more of a smaller company. So yeah, it wasn't on their top priority. But, man, did it show how well worth the wait it was for this game to be worked on for was. No crunch. They got to make exactly what they wanted. And, you know, this funny thing, this game almost didn't have any boss battles because they were running out of money. Then Microsoft bought them out and said, hey, here's all the money you need, take all the time you need, the only stipulation, make the game you wanted to make. And they're like, oh, okay. A lot different from the time when Microsoft abandoned them back in the Xbox era, in the original Xbox era. I think the story goes something like, if you ask Xbox, they would say Double Fine is being difficult, and if you ask Double Fine, they would say, yeah, you're kind of right. It also didn't help that the publisher, the actual publishing company that produced or published the original Psychonauts, went bankrupt. Like, literally, Psychonauts failed, and that company just gone, wiped from the face of the earth. It was apparently such a bad mishandling of the situation or something, or whatnot. I don't know the exact details, but this is just the story. Which, you know, considering I don't know what the original publishing company was, all I know is like Microsoft gave them some money, or tried to help them out at the time, and I think because of delays and stuff, because of just how difficult it was to make the game, they moved on to the other publisher, different publisher. It might have been what the case was. I don't know the full story. I'm sure there's like, oh shoot, who's the guy that did the Doom documentary? Like, there's probably a documentary out. Someone on YouTube probably did a documentary on the history of Psychonauts 1. People would say design docs, but I know that's like, I don't think it's design docs. I think that, you know, they do like game design videos. They don't really do documentaries. But the one that I'm sitting right here on the credit screen. I can probably look it up, see if there's actually. Let's see, Psychonauts documentary. So, Psychonauts retrospective by Delphine actually did their own little retrospective on Psychonauts. Which actually, I think I've seen that. The Color of the Sky in Your World, Part 1. Yeah, Part 2. Yeah, seeing just the image, the thumbnail on those looks very familiar. There's a Psychonauts 2006 psychedelic documentary. Not sure if that's actually about Psychonauts or something. I don't think Psychonauts came out in 2006. 12 years ago, 2022. It would have been closer to 2010, wouldn't it? No, Psychonauts is older than 2010. I mean, there's plenty of stuff on here talking about Psychonauts. That's on YouTube. There's tons of stuff talking about the history of it, but like I said, this game is so good. It was so, like I said, it was so worth the wait. And while I am a little disappointed that the game got pushed back. The game got pushed back another year or so because of COVID. I'd rather them take their time and make the game they want to make than rush and get a game out that's going to be half-assed just to please some investors, or, you know, God forbid, please the impatient asshole fans who wanted to play the game now, and are at this moment probably typing up some threat at the developer's expense, somehow expecting that to work out. Yeah, I don't hold much sympathy for those types of fans. Like, I understand, like, you know, I understand you're excited. I understand that you've been waiting. I understand you pre-ordered the game. And, well, yes, I can't speak for anything of Psychonauts 2 happening. I know that happened with Cyberpunk. I know that happened with No Man's Sky. Look how those two games turned out. Bet those same people who threatened the developers are having a different sense now. It's always weird how, like, the games that get the most, the developers that get the most heat from the quote-unquote fans are the ones who end up having the worst games. And it's not because of the developers, because they were forced to rush in the end anyway. Don't like crunch and rushing out a title just to get it out in time to meet some arbitrary date makes the game fundamentally worse. Have you ever wondered why Nintendo delayed Animal Crossing or Breath of the Wild or any of their games at all? It's for that same reason. They at least understand the quality difference. And again, same thing with here. You can tell a stark difference in quality from Psychonauts 2, from Psychonauts 1 to Psychonauts 2. And that's because, like, for as good as Psychonauts 1 is, they still had to crunch to get that game out. And they still had to cut corners, and it shows, especially towards the end of the game. There are things that just feel like just kind of the pacing just goes from, you know, just goes away. The pacing just zips on by. They kind of just skip stuff. It feels like it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it exactly. It just feels like the pacing just whips over to a breakneck speed. But also, like, the overall quality of the game kind of feels, especially when you get like stuff like the Meat Circus, and like I said, the latter portion of the game, like when you climb the tower and everything. For as weird and kooky and crazy as that area seems, it still does seem a little, I don't know, something about it seems a little off. Like some feel like it was a little, like maybe it was a little flood. I'm just reading at the credits there. It seems like it was a little rushed. Like I said, particularly the end. Particularly like I said, toward the end of the game, like when you get to the Meat Circus and you get to the ending parts of the game, just, and also like the gatekeeping in that game where you have to like grind out your titanium to get the required items. Yeah, that's also a good sign of a rushed game. Like, we have to get this game out fast, but we also have to meet a deadline. How do we make sure the game goes on long enough? I know, artificially increase the time limit by making you do something that takes a while, like grind out a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah. The worst parts of that game, though, still makes it still a great game. It still has some bad parts. But Psychonauts 2, they removed a lot of that. They fixed a lot of that problem. The pacing feels very fluid from point A to point B. It feels very good. The story they got to tell the story. They got to finish the story they wanted to tell. Almost every area has a boss fight of some sort that you're fighting, which is actually kind of cool. And the bosses make sense of the themes. That's not every area. Yeah, I'm trying to think. We have Hollis's Mine. We have Helmet Full Bear and Compton Bull's Mines. Yeah, I think all the Psychonauts outside of Ford. We don't have anything in Crystal Malik's mind, or in, technically, I guess, Lucretia's mind. You got the final boss, which you could technically count that as. So you have a fair amount of bosses, but not not every mind has a boss. I like that. Tim Schafer of Legend. I mean, he's definitely a legendary figure now. I remember, like way back when I first heard about Tim Schafer, when I first heard of Double Fine, before I really knew how much I was going to love them, before I even had a chance to play any of their games. I always heard about like Tim Schafer from like shows like X-Play on G4 and stuff like that, and the troubles that he has a great mind. He's a creative genius, but he had trouble with money and finances, and to be fair, that is kind of true. If you look at the history and repertoire of Double Fine, their biggest issue is with money, which yeah, fair enough. That's a big issue with every company. But like looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's hard to run it's hard to make like triple, or I guess you could call them double A games on a budget without having some sort of producer or publisher, producer, publisher, some sort of publishing company going around like picking you up and carrying the slack for the money. Because again, look at all this we have. Like before we even got to the backers, before we got to the special things and the babies, in the development babies, all the people that work on this game, it's insane. Unfortunately, they were able to get a good chunk of their money from backers, which I wish I had put money towards this now. I guess I did. I bought the game, but the other things I wish I had gone. It wasn't Kickstarter. It was something else they did. Some other kind of similar Kickstarter like platform. Not Indiegogo. Not GoFundMe. It's some weird one. That apparently they bought or owned or had ties with or something. Which, yeah, I mean, it makes sense why people would want to use that one. Why they would want to use that one, but like, it had people like, I remember it had a lot of people kind of skeptical. Because like, oh yeah, this thing is owned by Double Fine anyway. I don't think anyone ever proved anything, so like as far as I'm aware, there wasn't like anything wrong with what they were doing. It's just, you get those typical kind of skeptics out there, right? Like, oh yeah, sure, you're gonna make this, and sure enough, they did. But it's like, to go back to this, like, it's just, the game turned out so good, so great, so well made, and to be honest, we haven't even tackled everything. We barely tackled everything in the game. We got the main storyline down, but like I said, we're gonna go back after this, probably in another episode. Actually, yes, in another episode, because this is going on for 40 minutes. And we're gonna at least do the scavenger hunt. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do anything else. I'm gonna try to do scavenger hunt and maybe some of the other, like, let's see, we got 2 other quests at least I know I can think of off the top of my head that we can do. And probably just check out, see what everyone's up to afterwards. Because there's a lot of story stuff, like post-story stuff to do that's actually kind of somewhat important as far as like character development goes. Excuse me. And there's also a few items that they've added since the game's launch. A few things that we can actually get that actually will help us with collecting everything in the game, and not just the quest items like the side cards and figments. I wish you could have at the beginning of the game, but I understand why they don't give it to you until after. Wow, a lot of people backed this game. I think some of the names I'm seeing on here, I could easily lie and say, hey, I backed this game. Let me just pick some random person on here. There, that's me. Camille Darley. Yeah, that's right. No, that obviously wasn't me. Before anyone said anything, that was not me, really. I was making a joke. Because, I mean, obviously I sound like a Camille, don't I? I was intentionally looking for a female name that would be clearly not me. Also, I think I said my actual first name in a really, really long time ago when I was doing Minish Cap, I think. Kind of slip of the tongue sort of moments. Haven't said it since, and I don't intend to now. I don't think anyone's gonna care what my full name, what my actual name is. I go by Learbach online. Now I'm at the point where I want to talk, I want to keep saying stuff, but I don't know what to keep adding on. Like, this is one of the few games where it's like, I pre-ordered this game, technically. I bought it the day before it came out. Like, it's one of those things, like, I was so hyped for it, I was so excited for it, that I decided to pre-order it. The only other game I think I've ever done that for was Doom Eternal. And that was mainly because I liked the previous Doom. Excuse me. Oh, there you go. Okay. I liked the previous Doom, the 2016 Doom, enough that I had enough faith in Doom Eternal running as well as good as like optimized as possible. And also, like, you know, that was like the day we started quarantine for COVID. So I mean, it didn't help that I beat the game in like 3 or 4 days. So I mean, you know, not playing all day, but like, you know, I beat it in like 4 days, just off and on. So I mean, yeah, still had to find other things to play. No, I did not play Animal Crossing. As much as I love the Animal Crossing series as a concept, I do not have the patience to play Animal Crossing. I've played, which one was it? Wild World, the DS game. Way back in the day. Back when the DS was the big thing. Actually, I might have played it. Well, I may have played it during. No, hold on. Yeah, it was DS. It was DS era, yeah. Or did I play it after I got my 3DS? Which that would have been a while after the game came out. But I think I played it after I got my 3DS. One of my friends gave me their copy, and I played on his island, or his little area, not his island, but his little zone. Had to do a lot of weed work to clean that area up. But yeah, it was a fun game. I do not intend on playing another Animal Crossing game, though. It's just too much. I got other things to play. I know the concept of these games. I respect them from a distance. It's just I don't want to spend all my time playing the games. But that said, I do miss Mabel and Sable. It was actually fun playing, because I going in there learning, like, and talking to the two hedgehog seamstresses, and like one of them's like, oh, she's happy and outgoing and very, you know, communicative, and the other one's like just kind of buried in her work and going up and talking to her every day, every real world day, and developing a connection with these characters, and especially like, as you talk to Sable, the one who's like got her nose in her work. She's like, when you first talk to her, she's like, oh, I don't really like talking to people. It's like to work. And then eventually, like, you talk to her enough times, or enough days in a row, or she's like, she thanks you for talking to her, and she's like, and that like blew my mind, and like she started saying other things, like she started like acting almost seeming real. And then I would talk to Sable as well, and Sable would like thank me for talking to her sister and everything, and it was just like seeing like how much work they put into, like Nintendo put into like giving these characters life and personality, and like, you know, making them characters. And it's not just for the two. It's not just for those two. It's for like every villager, every character, even Tom Nook. And as much as we love to hate on Tom Nook, he's not a bad guy. But as far as evil capitalists go, he's by far one of the best capitalists out there. He gives you a house and then says, "Hey, take your time on paying it off. You're not going to have to worry about any interest rates or anything. Here's the amount you owe me." Like, people are like, "Oh yeah, he gives you a house." People like get angry at him, gives you a house, and then he expects you to pay it off. It's like, yeah, because he's not charging interest. Do you know what the housing market is like right now? Every month your rent goes up. You'll be lucky if your rent doesn't go up in a month because some greedy asshole landlord is sitting there like slamming his hand on the door. Where's my money? Where's my money? It's nuts how like that. And that's like worldwide. That's not just like in the States or the UK, or that's worldwide. That's worldwide because no country seems to figure out the idea that, you know, the novel idea that, you know, housing is a literal requirement for living. Having a house, having a vehicle. I guess granted, vehicle depends on what area you're in. My area definitely needs a vehicle. You definitely need a vehicle to get to and from places. You know, housing, food, transportation. That's all important to have in order to have a functioning life. In Animal Crossing, you don't even need the food. You don't need food. Though technically speaking, you can just chop down a tree, or shake a tree and get some food. And I mean, it's easy enough. Though you don't technically need to eat. You don't need transportation, though. I guess some games you do, because you got the train to get to other. You have like a train or a boat or whatever to get to other places outside of your town. But like, if your job is essentially just, you know, it's essentially just farming. You plant trees, you knock down the fruit, and then you sell them to Tom Nook. I guess his nephew's in Wild World going forward. The thing is, his nephew's started in that game, right? I think I remember talking to his nephews a lot. Maybe, no, I think, yeah, because you. Oh, what did he do? I don't remember. Oh, this is a long list of backers. Wow. And we're only in the O's. Jeez. I forgot how long this list was. I don't think I ever made it through the whole way. Just now at the P's. A lot of people wanted this game to happen. Imagine whatever you're seeing with this list, how many people there are in this list, and then like quadruple that for the people who either couldn't afford or didn't pay, but still wanted to see the game anyway. Jeez. But where was I? I've run out of things to talk about here. We're out of things to talk about with this, so we moved on to Animal Crossing. Let's see, what else here? I'm trying to remember what other games came out around this time. I think, because No More Heroes 3 came out at this time, right? And that was another game I was like super excited for, right? Like, you know, the sequel, the continuation of the No More Heroes games. Like, you know, I loved the first two games. Never played Travis Strikes Again. Have not heard many good things about it either, by the way. Like, it's kind of like a kind of game. And I have no intention of playing it just because, like, it was a game that, like, Suda51 threatened, like held the series hostage over for a while. Apparently, like if enough fans buy this, we'll be able to make No More Heroes 3. And it's like, yeah, whatever. I don't like that kind of mentality. I don't know what the deal was entirely, but like holding the future of a game franchise on another game that is completely fundamentally different from the other games in the franchise is not a good idea. It's what happened with Chibi Robo. You know, Chibi Robo Ziplash. You know, look on Scott the Waz's channel and you'll find, you know, a 40, 50 minute long video of him complaining about Chibi Robo Ziplash and how bad that game was. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a fine 2D platformer, but like, it's not a Chibi Robo game. I wouldn't even say it's fine. I'd say it's mediocre at best. But like, that was what the future of the franchise was being held on. If enough copies of that game shipped, they might make another game. If enough copies of that game shipped and were bought, they would probably have still never made a Chibi Robo 3 or 2 or whatever, whichever one they were on. Like, that's the problem. They knew it wasn't going to happen. That's the problem. They knew it wasn't going to happen, so it was destined to fail. It also didn't help that it only sold in the States at Walmart? Which, I mean... Really? That's where you're gonna... no. Whereas, with No More Heroes, at least, there's a digital-only game. And at least, you know, I don't know if it sold well or not, but apparently it sold well enough to make No More Heroes 3, which I put off playing for Psychonauts 2. And then I put off playing it for a few more months and only started playing it, let's see, 2-3 months of this, as of this recording? It's in July. Yeah, 2 months, yeah. It'll be August, so like June, middle of June, or end of June, beginning of July when I started playing No More Heroes 3. And that was a good game too, but I didn't buy it day one like I did the Psychonauts 2. And in all honesty, I may need to play it again because I have no freaking idea what was going on with the story. Like, I know it's like aliens attack and they're having a tournament. They're having this kind of like Assassin's tournament to see whether or not they want to destroy the world because they want to find the strongest fighter, which is Travis Touchdown. Travis goes and fights them. But it's like, the story is like so all over the place. I don't even know what's like actual the story and what's them just being silly and stuff. Like, there are some weird things they do with this game too, where it's like you'll see them talking about like anime and stuff, like various animes and movies, and like they'll say the names out loud. And I'm assuming it's the same way in other languages as well, like fully in the name, uncensored and whatnot. But you'll see the name of the anime, and there'll be like certain letters that have been censored. And it's not for everything, but it is for most of them. And it's so weird they do that. I don't know why they did that. I guess to get around some copyright thing, but like, I feel like writing the name down isn't going to cause any problems, but then again, from what I understand, Japan is really about their copyright, and it could probably have gone either way. They probably are being safe, but it is interesting to kind of look up, like, whenever they mention an anime or a movie or something, like, look it up, like, oh, this is actually a thing they're talking about. Oh, this guy, this famous Japanese director they're talking about is a real guy. And they seem to be super obsessed with this guy. It's a little weird. But yeah. Then, like, the story itself is, like I said, like, it's all over the place. It's kind of weirdly inconsistent. But regardless, that has been my kind of little mini tirade on No More Heroes 3. This is Psychonauts 2!
I know I graduated the intern program and all, but I'll bet if I snuck in a little extra credit work, that would really irritate Norma.
And we're all about irritating Norma. Congratulations, Junior Psychonaut. A new auto shot filter for fighting collectibles now available at all automatic machines. Okay, so yeah. In the next episode, I know we said this, we'll be going over that in a later date, in a bonus video. So yeah. Until then, I'll see you guys later.